Hello, Next to Change. Are you free to express yourself, or have you somehow limited yourself with your own preconceived notions about life and how things are to be done? A lot of times creativity is right there. It's right there at our fingertips. It's right there at the tip of our tongues. It's right there. But the things that we have grown up with and the things that we have learned that are things that limit or hinder us or say it isn't so or we can't have this or we can't do this have built cognitive structures around our life. And a lot of times we adhere to those things, those strict rules. People talk about the rules of kids growing up and telling them don't color out the lines and I know that we're teaching them motor control and practice and all those things, but it is something to be said about not coloring out of the lines, because as one understands the rule of not coloring out the lines, then it becomes more of a creativity, a freedom thing, a freedom of expression to begin to color out of those lines. And so, what I say for adults is we're all grown, so we basically know the rules, right? We know what the rules are that have guided us to acquire skills and to acquire you know, motor skills and things like that. So just to use going back to the coloring thing as an example. But, once the rules and the things of safety and just kind of the everyday, the pedestrian things, then it's time to express ourselves because all of us have individual self expression. But we don't do that because of our limiting beliefs or just the limiting things that others are modeling for us in society, and we conform to the norms. So I remember once I went to this training, and you know it was a group of people that came out, and what they would do was go to these companies and they would teach the employees you know how to be better, how to personally be better. And of course, anybody being personally better, that would just create more asset for the company. So they paid these people to come out and they did an excellent job. But I remember one exercise they did, and some of you may know it, but it's worth sharing. So they had these 9 dots. So they had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 horizontal and 3 vertical. So you had 9 dots. So the exercise was that you were to connect all the dots without lifting your pen or your pencil off the paper. And so there we were in the room, and you look down at the 9 dots and you're like, I can do this. So, everybody's going which way, which way, which way. People are, can you turn the paper? They're asking questions. Can you turn the paper? Can you do this? Can you do that? And they're like, sure, you can turn the paper. You can do everything, but you cannot lift the pen or paper, the pen or pencil off the paper. So after a while, everybody tried, everybody tried, everybody tried. No one could do it. And so finally the facilitator said, "Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do it." So the facilitator comes up there, doesn't lift the pen or pencil off the paper, but connects all these 9 dots. And I mean, you know, with these lines that are going way up and past the box, because right, the 9 dots create a square. So the facilitator is going way out the square, and people are looking, and all of a sudden the light comes on and you hear all these aha moments, because everybody that was trying wouldn't go outside of the square. They wouldn't go outside of the 9 dots. And they said, well, you didn't say we couldn't do that, and you didn't say we could do that. And of course, the presenter said, I didn't say you couldn't. I just said connect the 9 dots. You yourself gave yourself the rule that you couldn't come outside of the 9 dots and you had to stay within the boundaries of the square. And, it may not sound like a big revelation, but, it caused some thinking, and, a lot of times you're taught to figure things out within a framework that you think somebody else wants you to figure it out. So we thought, here they are. They gave us these 9 dots. They gave us these squares. And, of course, we put our own thinking on it. Don't color out the lines. So we didn't want to go outside the lines. And then we also wanted to figure out how we thought the facilitator may want us to do it. Maybe that this is what they want. We don't even know if that's what they want. We didn't ask. But that's just a perfect example of how we go through life a lot of times. In our jobs, with our friends, with our families, while we're in our own creative abilities, starting a business, starting a service, we end up with our 9 dots and our box, and we stay in there and say this is the way to do it. And sometimes we even look at others' models. And most people, not all people, but most people do have a model of staying in the box. A lot of people do. So think about that. Where are you? Are you in a box? Have you put yourself in a box? Think about the times that you were successful. Did you come outside those 9 dots? So that's just, food for thought. And when you think of something and you're creating something and you're expressing yourself, you're expressing your abilities, you're expressing your talents, you're expressing your thoughts and your feelings, you're expressing who you really are, there are no 9 dots. There is no box unless you perceive that and you accept that or create that for yourself to be true. So this is Vivian here. Think about all the things you want to do. Think about the things you're trying to do. And do those things and come outside of your 9 dots so that you can fully express yourself and be the fullest expression of who you are. Be the next to change.